Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hi, my loves, and welcome back to Love and Light Lessons with Christina Johnson. I am your host, and I'm so excited to be here. We are living our best lives. At least that's what the saying is right now, and we want to get into it. What does that really mean? Living your best life. I'm so excited to have the Empowerment and Transformation Spiritual Certified Life Coach back with me and my I'm not trying to brag, but she's my personal life coach as well, Dr. Sue Collins. Dr. Collins is amazing. She came on here already and shared her wisdom. If you guys were listening last week, you got a chance to be blessed by her, and she's back for week 2. And I promised you guys I would bring her back when her book was released. And guess what? It's been released. Today is the release day. And I'm so excited. I told her before we got on, I said, I feel like it's my book, right? I'm so attached to it. I love it. I read it. And to be honest with you, I went back and kind of breezed over it a second time because it is so good and so transformative. And I cannot wait for you guys to hear her wisdom today. Dr. Sue Collins, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. It is so great to be back.
Oh, you look beautiful.
So loving you all.
Man, you are glowing. Is it the birth of the book or what?
It's pretty exciting,
Oh, my
to
gosh.
have set the goal for that, and it's been quite a journey. It's been
Oh,
quite
yes.
a journey, and what I'd hope to do today is share just a little bit, not a lot, but
Right.
just a little bit about the journey.
Oh,
because,
nice.
you see the end result being the hard copy of the book.
Yes.
But I think consistent with what our topic is, living your best life and setting goals, having goals that
Yes.
are what will allow you to have your ideal life. I think that you need to hear a little bit about the story, because
Absolutely.
it wasn't always a pretty
That's
process.
right. Okay.
It wasn't-
They want the
pretty.
glory, but they don't want the story. I'm telling you, I know. Like, it is something else. Like, people see the outside, the outer. They see you living your best life, but it's always a story behind that. We all have one, and yours is powerful. I'm so glad that you are here. I'm so glad that you're sharing with me. And I'm so glad that I get to interview you on the day that your book comes out. You guys, the book is called Return to Self. What do you know about it? It is so good, you guys. You don't want to hesitate getting this book. It came out today. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you. While you're sitting here, you can go ahead and go to www.synergistichealingcenter.com to purchase, okay? So you can purchase while we're on here. It's fine. And after you hear Dr. Sue Collins speak, you're definitely going to want to buy not only yourself a copy, but all of your friends and family. So I'm so excited about this. I posted some questions online. They were, do you have a strategic plan? And I want to talk about that today. Who do you want to be? How are you going about living your best life? And what's so funny is we've heard Oprah saying that for years, like how to live your best life. Now it's a saying, like everybody's saying, I'm living my best life. But a lot of that is circumstantial. It's like, oh, I'm on vacation in Europe. I'm living my best life. I just got a new job. I'm living my best life. But how do you truly live your best life? I want you guys to call in the number 770-988-6461. Call in. Not only do I want to hear questions from you for Dr. Collins, but I also want you to share your wisdom. How are you living your best life? Do you have a strategic plan? How do you go about staying? And I don't like to say happy, because I feel like happy comes and goes. Yeah. But what's beautiful is true joy. How do you experience that true joy every day? Despite your circumstances. Like, we're human, we're going to feel, but how do you push through and live your best life? So it's a new saying. That's what everybody's saying. I'm living my best life. Tell us what you think that means.
I think that we say I'm living my best life, but the reality is that we really aren't. And we aren't doing it because we are focusing outside of ourselves on things and people and places to give us pleasure, when actually, in order to live your best life, you really have to go inside, do the hard work.
Oh, yes.
The first thing is, who are you? It's like
Wow.
we talked about this when I was here before.
Yes.
So if you don't know who you are, if you don't know truly what you want out of life, what you want for yourself, then how can you even begin to live your
Ooh,
best life?
that's so
right?
true.
And
Absolutely.
so one of the things that I talk about in the book is this process of mass conditioning that we are walking in lockstep with everybody, with society. We don't know who we are. Most of us have never stopped to ask that question, who am I?
Can we delve into that a little bit?
Sure.
Because last night I was out with my friends, and I say friend girls, I'm from North Carolina. My friend girls, they came back to my place, and one of my friends, Sheikah, was asking me, she said, Christina, who are you? And she said something like, she was talking about my brand, and I said, are we talking about my brand as in career, or are we talking about who am I as a person? And I've always found that difficult in the past to answer, because usually if someone says, who are you? You like, well, I'm a nurse, I'm a mother. So how do you define that question, who are you?
See, I think that we distinguish between who we are personally and professionally, but I don't think there's a distinction. And what I talk about in the book, one of the first things in the section on recreating your life, what I say is most people don't know what their spiritual beliefs or values are, right? And in order for you to create we're spiritual beings.
Absolutely.
Let me just kind of detour for a second.
Okay.
If you'd asked me that question 5-10 years ago, I would, well, not 5, it would be earlier than that. If you'd asked me that question, I would have said, I'm a mother, I'm black, I'm female, I'm I'm an associate professor, I'm a lawyer. I would have said all of those things. But all of those are just labels. Those labels are programmed with the energy of society. It is what society tells us that each of those things should be.
Okay.
What should a black female be, right? What should a lawyer be? What should a black female lawyer be like?
Yes.
None of that touches your soul. None of that touches your spirit. And when you live in that energy and you operate in that world, you wake up. You mentioned happy earlier. That's when happiness is fleeting, because for me, I chased what I call the shiny red ball.
Oh, yes.
I wanted the house, and I had the big house.
Yeah.
I wanted the luxury car, and I had the Jaguar. I wanted all of the trimmings. I wanted the travel and everything that goes with it. But I was looking for someone else, for something else that wasn't me. Right?
Yes.
I was trying to be like everybody else because that's what everybody else was doing.
Yes.
So now when you ask me how do you define living your best life, for me it is all very introspective. The first thing you have to go inside and determine for yourself, who am I? Which requires you to strip away all those layers, all of these things that people have told you that you were, even beginning from even from your time of birth, beginning with your birth family. Wow. Oh, Christina, you're supposed to be this. Oh, you're going to be that when you grow up.
That's right.
Or you come into a family where, we're Democrats. We're Republicans. And you immediately begin to internalize what they think those things mean. But who are you? Did you even ask if you wanted to? Did anybody ask you if you wanted to be a Republican? Or do you even know what that means?
Absolutely.
And when you put all of that together, who are you? You're a clone.
Yes.
When you think about the fashion industry plays a huge part in this cloning process, because every time a new designer comes out with clothes, it's like, I want that.
Yes.
Well, why do you want it? Because she's cool and I'm cool, right?
Right.
She's cool, so I'm cool because I'm wearing her cool clothes.
Exactly.
Or he's cool and I'm cool, right?
Yes.
But is that who you are? So many times when people talk about living their best lives, it is a very superficial life that they're living because they really don't know who they are. And
Absolutely.
until you can do that hard inner work, do the introspection, to confront your own demons, so to speak, to come up with your own values.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks like you are living your best life,
right?
But you're really not.
You're really not. Ooh. And that persona and that conditioning that other people give you is so hard to release when you've done it for so long. Like, I honestly was in tears a few nights ago because I have a high end car and I don't want it anymore. Like, I've had 11 cars, and out of all those cars, maybe 9 of them have been, well, 8 of them have been high end cars, right? And it comes with a big price tag, even for an oil change. Like, you have to get the oil change, you got to keep this thing up. Like, and all I kept thinking was, I just want a Jeep. That's it. I want a Jeep Wrangler. It's me. I can put on a ball gown with some combat boots, get out. I can put on my workout clothes, go to the gym, get out, and still feel comfortable and feel like it's Christina, because now I know who Christina is. Before, and it wasn't even like when I got my first, a Jag, as a matter of fact, I loved the body style so much because it had a vintage look to it, and it had those bug eyes. So it was more like, I've never seen a high-end car that I love like this. You know, I want to get that. And then I'm big on manifesting. I would say, oh, I want this, put it on my phone, pray, ask, have faith, manifest it, and here it comes. And now it's like I've gotten to the point in my life where I just want to be comfortable. I just want to be cool. I don't want to deal with these high-end cars anymore. But it made me sad because a lot of us look at that like, oh, if I pull up in, like, I've been getting rental cars lately to go out of town. Me and my girls went to New Orleans, and I remember pulling up to a place and someone was like, is this your car? And I'm like, yeah. You know, it's a Nissan. You know, and I felt like there's pressure to be a certain way, especially being in an industry where people do love beautiful things and drive these cars. But what's wrong if I want to pull up in a Nissan? What's wrong if I want to pull up in a Jeep? The pressure of having my life have to look a certain way drove me bananas. Like, I honestly was in tears because someone was like, well, if you want to go to an event, just rent something nice. But why do I have to? Why can't I just drive my Nissan there? And people are going to talk. Like, they are going to be like, oh, she must be having money problems, or this must be happening, or that must be happening. And now I've gotten to the point where it's like, I really don't care. But it did get to me the other day because I just felt like, why do we care so much? Why do I even have to think about whether or not I just want to get this car? What is the big deal? And it's because I've been used to living a certain way for a long time and having the look of something. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, people will carry a purse that costs $5,000 and don't have $5,000 in the bank. So I'm just like tired of the whole persona. I just want to be me. So how do we get to that? When you say go inside, how do I go inside? You know, is probably a lot of people's question. How do I go inside to get, and I've been working with you for about 6 months, guys, and let me tell you, that going inside is hard. Like, that is so hard to really have to go in. And so what is the first step to doing that?
I think the first step really is to ask, who am I? Who am I? In the book, the way the book is set up, it some of the material is channeled, meaning that it's intuitively or divinely given, and some of it is that based on that, what I received intuitively, then I built around that. But I've included a lot of my story in there. And honestly, I wish I had this book when I was going through writing my stuff, because it would have given me some indication as to how to move through it. But I envision 5 stages. There's a 5-stage transformation process. And the first step is just to reflect on who are you being. And that requires you to really kind of do a life review. So you go back and you think, even what we know as adults is that we didn't just get to be here.
Right.
We are the sum total of our parents and what they've trained us to be. We've been inundated with the messages from society, which tells us what success is and what it looks like, which tells us when we are good enough or not good enough. At least that's the way we internalize it.
Yes.
And so you really have to begin to look at if you say you believe a certain thing, well, why do you believe it? Well, where did it come from?
Mm-hmm.
Is it something that your mother told you, or
Yeah.
your father, or your friend? The thing that you have to think about in that case is, well, where did they get it from? Right?
Yes.
Because a lot of information is just passed on from generation to generation, and we do what we do because that's the way it's always been done.
Right.
And getting to your true self means that you stop. You stop at that point and actually begin to cultivate a practice of being the observer of yourself.
Wow.
So when you have these thoughts, when you think that even something as simple as, okay, so let's go back to the luxury car,
Yes.
right? I grew up, we didn't have a car. We didn't have a car. And I bought my first car as a Toyota Corolla, but
Nice.
everybody else had the luxury cars, and that was what I wanted, right?
Yeah.
There was something in me that needed that.
Right.
I felt that I needed that so that I could be as good as.
That's what it is.
So that I could be as good as, right? So that I would have a measure of success, right?
Yes.
So I'm a lawyer, but I'm driving a Toyota. Oh no, lawyers drive, Mercedes,
Yes.
and lawyers dress a certain way, right? And so you really have to look at, well, is that the way you want to dress?
Right.
Or are you dressing that way because you think you have to in order to be good enough, which really boils down to, well, do you love yourself as you are?
Wow.
Do you love yourself?
Yes. Just as you are without
Just
the
as you
stuff.
are, right? And so when we say reflect on who you're being, then we have to strip away all those layers. I think of the way we're programmed, right? We're programmed like a computer, and we're programmed with everything that I've just been talking about. And when a computer hard drive has a virus, you have to clean the virus. You have to
That's
clean
right.
the hard drive in order to remove the virus. So reflecting on who you are
Wow.
means actually looking at everything that you thought you knew, identifying what it is, where it came from. It doesn't mean that you get rid of everything.
Right.
It does mean that you make a conscious decision. Oh, this is what I believe in, because you know your why, right?
Yes.
This is what I believe, and this is why, as opposed to this is what I believe, but I don't know why. But that's the way it's always been. If you stay in that space, then you're paralyzed, and you're never going to get to happy. Happy is fleeting anyway, but you're never going to get to joy because your soul isn't going to be satisfied.
Wow.
There's going to be something within you that keeps saying, and this is why I think we're always looking for more, more, because we can't feed the soul. We're not giving it anything to feed. We're building on this contaminated mindset.
That's right.
That actually you've got to remove that in order to go to the next stage.
Wow.
And there's some other things I talk about in the book, but one of the things we were talking about today is having goals and developing a strategic spiritual plan for your life. Well, if you don't know who you are,
How?
you don't know what your values are, your
Right.
spiritual values are, or your non-spiritual values, your secular values. You don't know what any of that is, then how are you going to know how to develop this plan for your life?
That's
How are
right.
you going to identify what's important? How are you going to identify? Because what you may do then, until you do that front end work, what you do is just carry these other beliefs, that persona that someone else has created, you carry that forward in your life.
That's true. That's true. Oh, and it's so. The scary part of that for me is that you're living your life for all of these years and you don't even know that it's not truly who you are.
Exactly.
Because you're so attached to everything, the way that you've lived, the things that you have, the things you've been taught, the things you've been told, that you feel like, this is me. What are you talking about? This is me. And as we've been working together, I've noticed that even though this work is super hard, the easiest way for me is that I wait until things come up. And you taught me that. Like, you don't have to go home and, because I think we always think it's an overnight process, or
It is not.
I'm doing this healing. Oh, I've been working on myself for 2 months, girl. I'm healed. And it's not that easy. I've been working on myself my whole life. And I remember starting at 21 saying, I'm just going to forgive my parents. People can't give you, and parents can't give you what they don't have. They can't teach you what they don't know. You want to learn how to change a tire. If your dad doesn't know how, or your mom doesn't know how, they can't teach you. And so I started with forgiveness. And so I felt like, okay, I'm in my 40s now. I'm just about to turn 45 when we started doing our sessions. I'm like, and I've done the work, but I need balance. So let me just go get a little balance.
Look here. And I'm a life coach.
Okay. And I'm a life coach. Who heals the healer? Okay. And so I do all of this. I go to you. I come to you and I'm like, what? We're starting from the beginning. Like, as a child, I'm going back to childhood, and there's a little 7-year-old girl who was abandoned by her dad, who is in pain, and every time I feel abandonment, every time I feel like someone's disregarding me, she comes up as the hero to save me, and I shut down, and she comes up to protect me. And so now, when she shows up, I'm able to say, oh, okay, I know what this is. This is a little girl who was hurt, who thinks that everybody's out to hurt her, who's out to get her. And I'm able to say, okay, sweetheart, I'm a grown up now. I love you. Thank you for the protection, but I can take it from here. So that's a process, because just because I've said that 100 times doesn't mean that it's over. Like, it still pops up. It's a constant work. That reprogramming you were talking about is such a constant work. And being an observer of myself and being able to step back and say, oh, you're just afraid, and it's okay. And so we observe ourselves, we see, okay, we ask ourselves the question, who am I? We're learning who we are. What's our next step?
The next step really is to reimagine your life. If you could have it, this perfect life, this best life, really, if you could have it, what would it really be like? Who would you be when you woke up? What would you do? What would a day in your life be like, right? Who would the people that you attract into your lives, who would they be?
Yes.
The things that you find interesting, how would you feed yourself spiritually? What kind of work would you do? What would you give back to the community?
Yes.
Where would you want to live? Just, when we are kids, that I'm telling you, youth is just, they're lost, right?
Yeah.
Because they don't know how wonderful they have it, in the sense that their imaginations get to run wild.
Absolutely.
Right? A kid can want to be a policeman, a fireman, or garbage man, all at the same time, and a doctor, and all this stuff, all at the same time. Superheroes.
Yes.
And we allow them to have that freedom to experience that.
Yes.
But then slowly, over a period of time, this is where that collective conditioning comes in. Over a period of time, it's like cattle being herded into a single path, right?
Wow.
Now you've got to decide. You can't be all of these things. You got to decide. Pick one.
Right.
And so we pick one. What happens is we don't know if we want to do that or not, but because we're getting the pressure to pick one, we pick one of these things, and very slowly, basically, we are programmed. The joy, the spontaneousness, the imagination is programmed out of us, and we focus in on this one thing that we have to be. We kind of put our heads down, and now we do this.
Yes.
So what I ask in that second step, to dream big, dream. We hear a lot of times people, and even you mentioned about manifesting.
Yes.
What is it that you want to manifest? Just what would your best life look like?
Oof.
Dream it. And so then the third step really is to think about, and I actually ask you to kind of write out the answers to your questions in the reflect stage, and then to write out what your life your best life would be like, and look at the two of them, right? And the work, the third step is the release step. So the work is in that space, what I call the transformation gap between where you are now and where you want to be.
Exactly.
And that's where the hard work is.
Oof. I remember you asking me to write down what my life is going to look like, what I would like it to look like. What it's going to look like, I can't say that, because I feel like that's faith, believing in the things we can't see.
Sure.
And so I did that. It was about 2 pages long, y'all, because I was very detailed. And I want to say that to everyone. Don't leave out a detail, because I remember getting into a serious relationship, but before that I had wrote down everything I wanted in a mate. And the one thing I left off of that list was respect. And it ended up being a very turbulent relationship, because I feel like we have to ask in detail. When I tell people, when you pray, be very detailed in your prayers, because you can ask for money, but it could come to you in a way that you didn't want it to come. You know, it'll show up in a way you don't want it to show up. So write things down. Don't leave out a detail. And as far as the reimagine stage and the releasing, I know I felt I was kind of going, well, I am going through the stage of, I don't know, I can't say expectation, but my son is about to turn 18. And so just being okay with the fact that all of my kids are grown now. This is his last year in high school. He's going off to school, and we're thinking abroad. So I'm really going to be taking care of myself for the first time in my life. And I've never had to do that. Of course, I've had to take care of myself, but not just myself. I went from being someone else's responsibility to having my own. There was no space in between where it was just me. Like, I don't even know how to go to the grocery store to shop for just me. I'm used to shopping for a family. Even though it's just me and King now, I still get too much, you know?
Oh, I'm by myself. I still do. I feel like my refrigerator has to be full.
Exactly.
And what typically happens is I buy all this food because I grew up in a big family.
Yes.
Right? And then I had my son, right?
Right.
And even though it's just been me for all of these years, I still buy all this food, which ends up going to waste because, of course, I'm only one person.
Exactly.
But there's that message that's programmed that you got to have this food in the refrigerator in case.
I'm telling you. So now I'm, per your advice, waking up every morning asking myself, what adventure do you want to have? What do you want to do now? Because I've never had to just ask me. It's like, okay, what am I going to do for the kids? Where are we going on vacation? What schools are they going to go to? Should we move into another house? Do we need more space, less space, blah, blah, blah. And I'm even asking myself that. Like, okay, I have a, decent size house, but it's like, I'm saying decent size, but I just mean my house is large for 2 people. So I was like, do you even want to live here anymore? Do you want to just go get you a small little cottage? Maybe with a pool. Do you want to even live in Atlanta? So every morning I'm waking up like, what do you want to do now? What adventure do you want to have? And that is a part of it. It's like now I'm learning to live differently, really. But the beautiful thing is that now I know who I am going into this. So it's like, what are you, Christina Johnson, inside yourself, minus everyone's opinions, minus everybody's, thoughts and comments and, whatever. What do you really want to do? Because you don't have to live in a huge place. You don't have to live in a small place. You can find something that makes you happy, period. Do you even want to be in Atlanta anymore? Like, I'm really thinking about that. So these stages, you guys, it really, really works. This book, Return to Self, is amazing. You got to get it. It's going to help heal your life. Okay? It's so amazing. And Dr. Collins is amazing. So if you're looking for a life coach, honestly, you gotta check her out, and I'll put all of her information on my social media. I'll give it to you at the end of the show so you can look for her. If you have questions, I know she's so good. You're so attentive, but it's okay. You can call in. The number is 770-988-6461. Call in with your questions. We would love to hear from you. And let us know how you're feeling. Let us know if you're living your best life. How are you going about living your best life? We want to know, right? Yeah. And I want to hear about it. Is it circumstantial? Do you feel like I'm living my best life only when I feel good? How do you handle, and I can ask you that, Dr. Collins, like, how do you handle it when it is circumstantial? I know you have to do these steps, but like, is there any quick fixes even?
Oh, there are no quick fixes.
So you can't just say, okay, I'll do this and it'll make me happy for a little while.
And it might make you happy for a minute. Literally a minute, it might make you happy. but the core reason for the unhappiness has to be addressed. Otherwise,
Yes.
you wake up tomorrow and you're right back where you started from.
Wow.
It is it's a very organic process in that as you are releasing one belief or one dysfunctional behavior, you are at the same time cultivating new beliefs and new behaviors using either whatever your spiritual practices are, which is
Yes.
the fourth step is the reprogramming, because as adults we might think that we can't learn new stuff, but we really can. And so as we remove these negative beliefs or dysfunctional behaviors in step 3, the release step, then we begin to reprogram, always keeping in mind what your ideal future is, what your
Yes.
best self is, your life that you're moving toward.
Right.
We begin now in step 4 to reprogram the brain. All of our behavior, 95% of it is ruled by the subconscious. That means that we are, in essence, we're on automatic pilot.
Yes.
And so in the reflect stage, you got to dig down into the subconscious mind.
Yes.
And then in the release stage, now that you've identified whatever those beliefs are, you got to release them, right? But here's the thing. Nature abhors a vacuum, so does the subconscious mind. If you release a negative belief, but you don't replace it with a positive belief, then very, very quickly, you'll be right back in the same space. So you can't just say, I'm going to remove this, or I'm going to stop doing this, or I'm going to stop having that thought. You can't just say that. What are you going to replace it with? And this is where the affirmations come in, positive affirmations. This is where the meditation comes in, with you always trying to be aligned, to stay in touch with your higher self and to be aligned with God.
Yes.
This is where what I call the affirmative prayer comes in, where you're not in a beggar position where you're saying, oh God, please give me this, please give me that, but rather you're seeing yourself as whole and perfect, and knowing that there are no mistakes, that everything happens for a reason, and that this is a part of your life journey. And so you take from it what you're supposed to learn, and you move on to the next thing.
Absolutely. Oof, that's good stuff. And then I want to go back to the releasing stage, because I know I'm a person that loves really hard, and it's hard for me to let go. It was hard for me to relinquish control, so letting go. Because, when you're a mom, you like, oh, no, you're going to do this. Oh, no, this is how it's going to happen. This is where you're going to go to school. This is what the same thing we went through in being programmed. We pass along to the next generation and so forth. But I know for other people, too, we as women, we love hard. We're nurturers. How do you release and let go? Can you give us some steps for that? I know you kind of talked about it, but, like even in heartbreak and heartache and releasing your old ways, like what are some good steps? And I don't want to give away the whole book, you guys, but maybe just some quick little steps that we could use to let go.
Well, I think everything goes back to having that awareness. What is this? I ask myself a lot when I am experiencing certain emotions or feelings or having certain thoughts. What is this? And why am I thinking it? And is this my thought? Or because sometimes if you are even in a relationship, you're picking up on the energy of the other person, or you're picking up on the thoughts of the other person, because you're so connected, right?
Soul ties.
Right. And so the first thing I think is just to be aware of who are you being in that moment. And then once you do that, it is important for you to understand, where is it that I want to go? We have dreams. Most of us have dreams. We just don't value them. We don't honor them.
Yeah.
We often allow other people to tell us how to be. We kind of step into a victim mentality, where we need some victim and very submissive or subordinate. We want somebody to take care of us. We're very helpless, right? And so can you tell me what to do so that I don't have to worry about doing this myself? Will you take care of me? I in my life, I was kind of a will you take care of me, but I also, because I was so dependent and wanting somebody to love me, I'll just love me. It doesn't matter, you can treat me bad, you can not be supportive of me. Just love me because I want somebody in my life. And so you have to look at, who are you being and why are you being? And in the book, I talk a little bit about myself. Actually, I talk more than a little bit about
It's good,
myself.
though. It's so good.
Because I thought it was
It's so
important,
good.
right? Because people look at me and I've got all these degrees, but they don't
Mm.
know the pain behind the degrees.
Oh,
They don't
wow.
know the having feelings of not being enough. They don't know the feelings of invisibility. They don't know the self-esteem issues.
That's
They
right.
don't know the alcoholism story. They don't know any of that. They just, I walk outside and I look good to the
Yes,
world, but you don't know my pain,
that's
right?
right.
And so the introspective part requires you can lie to the whole world. Really, you can lie to the whole world, but you must be honest with yourself, and that's where you start from.
Wow.
That's where you start from.
Ooh, that honesty of self. It's hard for
Yes,
us.
it is.
Because the truth hurts when other people tell us. It's just as hard when you have to tell
Yeah,
yourself, honestly.
yeah,
Like when you have to face those ugly truths. But it's the only way to clean the wound, you know?
absolutely.
Like you have to open it up, get it clean in order for it to scab over and just be flawless afterwards. If you continue to pick at it, keep ignoring it, don't tend to it.
It just
It's,
festers.
yeah.
And for me, the festering resulted in overeating.
Mm-hmm.
It resulted in drug addiction with marijuana. It resulted in alcoholism. But all of and attempted suicide twice.
Wow.
And all of this, it wasn't that I wanted to die. I didn't want to be an overeater. I didn't want to do drugs. I wanted to stop the pain.
That's
I wanted
right.
to stop the pain.
Oof.
And once I started to do that hard inner work,
Yes.
you know, when I did my release, well, what I share in the book, it went all the way, the storyline went all the way back to my father.
Wow.
Love me.
Yes.
Please love me.
We
I
have
know
that
you're
in
going to
common.
leave me. When you going to leave me?
Yes.
Please don't leave me. Love me.
Absolutely.
Right? And that was all of my life. I was wanting somebody to love me because he left me.
Yes. Oof.
Always looking for the same thing. Here's the thing about trauma. That's a trauma. That's another, that little girl that was impacted at that level, right? The trauma doesn't go away.
Right.
You think that, well, that happened when I was 6 or that happened when I was 5. Okay, so it did. But it's still there because you never addressed it.
That's right. Ooh.
Never dealt with it.
And that's where the work comes in.
That's the work.
Because that's a lot of the issues that I have too, you know that. And it's like it even made me try to overachieve and overlove and overtake care of everybody by putting myself last and making sure everyone else's needs were met before my own. And then having to go back and figure out how I was going to take care of my own because I gave so much away just so that I could feel that I love you. You're the greatest friend. You're the greatest mom. You're the greatest wife. You're the greatest ex-wife.
Yeah.
You're the greatest. And just sacrificing myself so that I could just feel loved. And so that healing process has been amazing for me because now I realize my love for me is enough. God's love for me, my love for me. I don't need the validation of other people that are around me to give me that. Of course, I love love still. That will never change. I love everyone. But it's different now. It feels different now. And I'm conscious of when I'm going too far. And I'm still a work in progress. I was telling my friends just yesterday, I'm like, if I say something to you and you don't like the message, I'm saying it respectful, but I'm setting boundaries. And it sometimes gets to me because I just always want everyone to be happy. I want you to be comfortable. But at the same time, I want to be loved. I want to be respected. You know, I want to be able to be honest about how I feel. And for me, that's a difficult, very difficult place because I'm used to that. I'm like a love addict. Does that make sense?
Oh, it absolutely does.
It's like, yeah, instead of alcohol, I want the love. You know, and just, you know, this is some work. Oh, we got a caller. Sorry, you guys, we've just been talking and talking. I'm not ignoring you. I can't wait to hear from you. We have a caller at 8973. Hi, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello.
Oh, you said the last 4 digits. Oh, Lord.
It just helps so you'll know who you are because it's more than one caller on here. Hey, boo.
You said 8973. That's me. Yes.
Hi.
I guess you know the voice. This is Tia Billionaire. How
Hi,
y'all
Tia.
doing?
Hi
We're doing
there.
great.
Oh, Dr. Sue, you're hired.
You're hired. Oh, my goodness.
I absolutely love her. This is my first time being able to catch the show literally like live.
Oh,
Except
that's
for the
so
time that
awesome.
I was on it, I always play the replays. I'm still eating from your last time on. I'm literally still eating from the last time you were on.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. There's so much to take in, so much to ask, so much to. First of all, I need the book. I want the book yesterday. Like, can I
Thank
get it
you.
overnight?
I love it. It's so
Like
good.
yesterday. I saw Christina's transformation since she's been working with you, and it has been absolutely amazing. The glow, the light, the shine, everything that I've seen her, just the growth. I mean, it's just been amazing to watch her transform before our eyes from the work that she's been doing with you. And it's so encouraging. It's so contagious. It helps other people want to be better. I definitely am always, I'm just going to always be a work in progress, probably.
Well, you know,
Just from
we
being
all
We
a
all,
product
yeah.
from,
we all are
yeah,
works in
yeah, a product of
progress.
my environment. But I want to be better. So I want to ask you about that balance because I remember having a conversation with my pastor a couple of years ago, just like the conforming. Like I was conforming so much till I knew that I was losing Tia. It was the conformity was just getting old. And I just started going back. God just started showing me at 3 and 4 and 5. And it was something he put in me, especially even at 3 years old, and for me to remember specifics, word for word, and have family members remember, yeah, you said that. You were 3. It's something he put inside of me that I know I'm supposed to keep as far as my boldness, as far as me being so boisterous. But at the same time, I want to learn how to get that balance where I don't just, ain't no sugar. I ain't sugarcoating nothing. All that. I don't want to be that person. I'm that person. I'm gonna give it to you raw and uncut. But I still want that balance. Like all I can say is help. I don't even know what I'm gonna ask. Help. You're hired. That's all I know.
I think that the the question you have to ask yourself is, what is your purpose in sharing the information? When I was a kid, and actually right through I'd say my early 30s, I was very outspoken, and I still am, but I really took no care as to how I shared information. And I can remember my mom saying to me, well, honey, just because you think it, don't mean you have to say it. And my attitude, I was very, very, I don't even want to put a label on it, but because then what I would say to what I actually said to her is, well, if I'm big enough, and with the attitude I said, if I'm big enough to think it, I'm big enough to say it.
Wow.
All
And
right now.
and
Uh
and
oh.
from that posture, I have said some things that could have been helpful had I voiced them differently, had I changed the
Mhm.
energy around what I was saying. You know,
Mhm.
none of us are perfect. And so all of us can benefit from constructive criticism. But constructive criticism that is that's brutally shared is different than constructive criticism that comes from a place of love. One of the things
Mhm.
that in the book, on one of the things that I share, some of the information that I share is channeled information, as I said previously, and it's like when I was writing it, it just poured through me. I wrote 5 pages. They were absolutely perfect. I didn't have to change a word. And I realized later I didn't have to change a word because it wasn't me. And I looked at it and I thought,
Mm.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this, because in that moment, it didn't really relate to the book that I thought I was going to write. But here's the point I'm trying to
Mm.
make, is that it was God sharing with me our purpose. And our only purpose for being here is to learn to love ourselves so that we can then love others. And so the short answer to your question is, what is your focus when you are sharing this information or when you're making statements?
Mhm.
Are you coming from a
Yeah.
place of love? Because if
Mhm.
you are in that space of oneness with God, God didn't do anything that was intended to hurt.
Right.
Even Jesus talks about
Mhm.
the greatest commission is to love,
That's right.
right? And so
Mhm.
yes, you probably have the ability to see things and know things and to share that information, but if you're sharing it from a place that is not grounded in love, then I would encourage you to, before you share it, just kind of step outside of yourself and ask, what is the purpose? What am I trying to do? Do I want that person to be stronger and more at peace
Mhm.
when they leave me? Or do I want them to just deal with it? And often, if the person is already broken and you share in a way and from a space that says deal with it, then you contribute to their demise as opposed to
Mhm.
contributing to lifting them up. So, why are you sharing? Is the question.
That's
That's a good. I
powerful.
love that.
Ooh.
That is powerful,
And I
and it
love, I'm
actually
sorry.
confirms. It makes me feel good. Go ahead, Kristen. But it makes me feel good that she said that, because then it does lead back to, are they overly sensitive as well? So it's that balance again. So I kind of feel confirmed that when I do shut down, then I'm supposed to shut down. When I do share, then I'm supposed to share, because then that person can receive, because it's always coming from a place of love. I remember my son getting on the phone with a young lady one day, and he let her know, he said, honestly, if my mom is talking to you, if she's even talking to you, that's because she absolutely loves you and want to see you win. Because if she didn't even care, she wouldn't even have this conversation with you, or you wouldn't be so strong on her heart like that for her to share. So um, I see where that balance has to come from too. What were you going to say, Christina? I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, I love it when you said, "Do you want them to leave? You want them to leave you in peace."
Yeah.
That's so powerful
Yeah.
that you can deliver a message, no matter how hard it is, and people can walk away from
Mm-hmm.
you still feeling like, still feeling
Peace.
peaceful.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like what you told them set them free instead of more aggressively. Because I know back in the day, what came up came out for me.
Oh, absolutely.
And if
Yeah.
it came up in my mind, I didn't even think about it. It just flew right out of my mouth. And I was like, ooh. And one day I told this story before, but I said something that hurt my sister, Michelle. And the look on her face changed me for life with that. So
Oh.
I remember thinking, from now on, Christina, what comes up, you think before you let it come out of your mouth. And someone online said, my family would say tact. You know what I mean? It's a way to say
Yeah, tag.
things,
Yeah.
you know, where, because, and to me, it is the intention behind it. So if someone comes to me aggressively, or they say something that hurts me, or something that they intend to say to hurt me, I always pray and say, God, show me the intention behind that, because I don't
Oh,
want to
that's
walk
good.
away from this relationship thinking that this person is just evil and a know-it-all and loud and just mean. If the intention behind it was a place of love, then God, show me that, so that we're able to communicate through this and move forward. Because I have in the past always been the type of person that would just walk off, just walk away. I'm done. And that's how I am. Like, I still have that in me today. I'm like, okay, bye. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to deal with it. I don't have to deal
Mm-hmm.
with you. I don't have to deal with your ways. And we all have them. But some things are easier to deal with than
Mm-hmm.
others. So it's like, I pray that the intention behind it is shown to me, so that I know how to handle it correctly, because I'm a runner. You know what I mean?
I,
That's such a
I,
good prayer. I'm the same. That's such a good prayer. That is so good. Thank you. Oh, that's so good.
I want to say something about the intention and actually keep it real quick. Intention, you can never know another person's intention. God can share with you certain things, but you
Right.
can never really know.
Yeah.
And so the intention, your focus really has to be on what is your intention, because you're the only person you can control.
That's right. You're absolutely right.
Even in terms of whether another person hurts you. Well, nobody can hurt you. It's what you think about what they said that you then tell yourself, I'm hurt. Right? And so one of the things we talk about, and I try to help you work through in the book, is to really focus on the fact that you can't get into anybody else's mind, and oftentimes it is the story you tell yourself about the situation that causes you to feel a certain way. Well, if you back up from that story and just realize it's just behavior. Someone did something, they didn't say, I'm hurting you. They just did something, and you don't know what's going on in their life, and you don't know what their intention is. But regardless of any of that, the real question here is, we're spiritual beings, and our whole purpose, our sole purpose, is to love ourselves so that we can love others and so that we can be shining lights and uplift humanity. We're here to serve the earth.
That's right.
To save it, right?
Yeah.
And so anytime, I say judge your behavior by whether, not somebody else's behavior.
Yes.
Judge your behavior, judge your thoughts by whether you're being a positive light in this world.
Yeah.
So that's
That's
the
good.
intention that you look for.
That's
Yours,
really good.
not somebody else's.
Yes. Check yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't gonna say it that way, but okay.
Do a self check. Okay, check yourself. Okay, no, that's
I'll
really
take it. Growth
really
feels
good.
good.
Ooh, that's so good. It makes the hair stand up on my arms.
Yes, it does.
Because the only person we can
Changing
change is
growth
ourselves.
good.
Absolutely.
And that's good
And,
stuff.
yeah.
And I think that's what I was saying about relinquishing control, is that me as a person, I've been the mom and the life coach, and you know what I mean, this person that is used to saying, hey, this is the way it should go. Oh, if this don't go this way, then I'm out, and this and that. And just learning to say, hey, well, where is that coming from? How are you? And some relationships you're not going to be able to fix. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And it's okay to.
But here's the thing: the ones that you can't fix, you're not supposed to fix them. The question is,
That's right.
given
Yes,
that you're
Lord.
in this relationship, what is it that you're supposed to learn? Not
Oh,
about
not to
what they're doing,
fix.
but what is it that you're supposed to learn? Because you can't fix anybody else.
Sure can't.
The person presents as a mirror to you, and they're always showing you what you need to look at in yourself.
Yes.
If a person has problems controlling their temper so that they're always in an angry state, but they're showing up in your life, look at yourself
Look
and
at
see
yourself.
what is it within me that needs to deal with feelings that are lack of discipline, lack of
Yes.
control, how I am interacting with other people.
Ooh, that's so
Don't
good.
look at that other person and say, oh, he's an angry man or she's an angry woman. No, what is it that I'm supposed to get from this so that I can be a better person?
That's deep, because if you're
Where to send the offering?
okay. Yeah, because dang,
It's
that's
never
so
about the other
deep.
person.
It's not
Never,
about
ever,
them.
ever
It's
the other
about
person.
you.
Always about you. Always about you.
Wow.
Thank
Discipline
you,
and
ladies. I
control.
love you.
Eh?
Oh.
Oh, I need to write that down, because you just healed me in an area real quick.
Never about the other
Discipline and control. And I think that shows up in my life sometimes if a person can't control themselves or discipline themselves to do whatever. I know Tia was talking about, the way that she communicates. But then it reminds me of diet. When I think about what am I to learn, it's like, how can you control what you're eating? How can you control what you're putting in your mouth? You know what I mean? And is it serving you?
Exactly. Oh, absolutely. It is always that. Is it serving you? And then related to that, see, because we're so connected, God has connected all of us.
Yes.
All of us. We know there's only one race, there's only humanity.
Yeah.
Right? And so God's connected all of us. And it's always, first, you got to be clear about yourself, and you got to be your best self.
Yeah.
But then you're not doing it just so that you can hold that in. What can you bring to the world? What are you contributing to the world?
That's right.
Because when you love yourself, if you are so filled with love, you have nothing else to give but love, right?
but love.
That's because that's all you are. That's all you got.
Mm.
But you got all that other stuff going on inside, then that's what you give. And so that's why we go back to that first step, reflect on who
Yes.
you're being, who are you, and what are you bringing into the world.
Lord, let me write that down. Reflect on who
Thank you,
you're
Lord.
being. Reflect on who you are being. Wow, that is so deep. And what you're bringing to the world.
That's why it takes 2 days to go through the replays. I got to rewind and write all the time.
I'm saying, because I'm about to go home and watch this myself.
Me too.
Yes, good one. Woo.
This is so good, Tia. Thank you
With the
so
gin in the pan.
much. Oh my gosh, through
ladies.
your car, I feel
Thanks for
healed in
having
an
me.
area. I'm gonna have a salad today. I'm gonna have a salad.
I love you. Love you,
I
Dr.
love you.
Sue. Love you, Chris.
I love you, honey. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Wow. That was so deep. We have another caller. I'm going to go ahead and take it because, as you know, I always run over, but we are running out of time. Hello, caller 8845. Who are you? Give us your name and where you're calling from.
And this is Sunflower.
Hi, Tanya.
Hi, I thought I was gonna be able to talk, but I'm just like so overwhelmed. Like this show it was so much needed.
Aw.
I can't even everything that y'all talked about has really answered everything I needed to know.
Oh, wow. That's
Like
so
I just
powerful.
want to tell Miss Sue, I just can't ask no question. But I just really appreciate you being on my sister's show because you are such a beautiful person. I keep looking at you, you're glowing.
Isn't she?
Oh my God, you're such a pretty lady. You
She's
are
beautiful. Yes,
You're
she
beautiful.
is. She's absolutely beautiful.
So I don't want to keep crying. I'm just not going to go.
No, that's okay.
It's a lot. But thank you so much. Thank you because I really needed to hear all of this
Aw.
so I can be but just thank you.
Yeah, that healing
And
is always necessary.
Yes. When are you coming back on the show?
Yes, we have to have her
This is
back.
so
It's
much.
so much to delve into, and 1 hour is definitely not
Yes.
long enough. And healing is a process. That's why you guys have to get her book. It's called Return to Self.
That's the cover.
That's the cover? Oh, I keep staring at it, and I'm like, it's so beautiful. I want to show it. This is so dope, you guys. Take a look at this cover.
I
Now,
will because I can't see it while I'm on the phone. But I will be purchasing it.
can you explain this cover to me? Because I know it has a deep meaning.
You know, the whole book is a book that God gave me the vision to do. And he also gave me the cover. And so I commissioned Chris Richardson to actually paint the picture, and he then did it electronically so that we could make the book cover. But in the back, you see the original me. This is the and I thought of it in terms of myself.
Yes.
But you just put yourself there. In the back is the person that you actually are. That's who you were born into this world to be. This person has his back to us, but this is the person that's been programmed by society, that has been, this is where the virus lived.
Yes.
But this person has shed that and is now returning to their true self.
Oh, that's so
Which is
beautiful.
how we got the
my
name
God,
of the book,
yes.
Return to Self.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Oh, you
Yes.
guys, I've read the book. I know I cheated. I had to get it early. It is so
I can't
good.
wait to get it.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. It feels so good to be able to heal.
Yes, it does.
Can I just say that no matter how ugly some of the days get, I remember one day crying for like 2 hours. No joke, like crying for 2 hours straight because it's a lot.
It is.
Deprogramming, that's hard. Like it's hard to let go of what you've always known. You know what I mean? What you feel like you've always known, what you've always been taught, and drawing your own conclusions. Like it's like starting all over, and depending upon your age, it's like, whoa.
Oh, most of us don't even know how to begin to do that. And here's the thing. There's so much. We've been programmed. I think maybe the young people, the babies, don't have the problem. But anybody else that's been around a little while, you've accumulated some stuff.
That's right.
And as I was going through my process, 60 plus years worth of stuff
Yes.
to dig through, right?
Yes.
And so there were times when, I cried every day.
Oh, wow.
When I went through my life coaching school, it's a 9-month program, I cried every day for 8+ months.
Wow.
Because every day I thought,
Oh.
okay, I'm done with this, right?
Yeah.
And then we would dig deeper and go to another level.
Yeah.
And you have to keep going until
Yes.
you get to the core. That's where the real self is. Then you begin to build based on what you want to be, based on who you want to be. And it doesn't mean, you look at everything, but it doesn't mean that you get rid of everything. It means you then make a conscious decision as, this is who I am as a spiritual being. These are my core values. These are my core spiritual beliefs. So you get to consciously choose what you believe rather than being asleep and just being told, this is who you're supposed to be. This is how you're supposed to be.
Yeah. Ugh. How do you want to show up? That's the question I think about a lot of times. Christina, how do you want to show up in the world? Christina, how do you want to be perceived based on who you really are? Not
Absolutely.
perceived in a way that you feel others think you should be, but how do you want to show up in the world? And I'm telling
That's a
you,
question.
it's shedding a lot. And I have to say, not only emotional, physical, but, in my physical life, as far as I don't need as much stuff. And I've never really been a pack rat, you know what I mean? But now it's like I'm shedding a lot because all I need is me, you know what I mean? And God and love and to be love, to reflect love. And so it's worth the work, you guys. It really, really is. It's worth the work. I hate to end this.
I want to say one more thing. We were supposed to be talking about
I was about to
goals.
say, can we just go over a little bit? Yeah, okay. Because we didn't finish talking about, and Tanya, I'm going to release you because I know you got to get back to
Okay.
your babies. But thank you so much for sharing.
Thanks,
We love
Tanya.
you.
Thank you. Y'all have a wonderful day.
You too,
You too.
sweetheart.
And I will be getting that book, and I may get quite a few to just give away for gifts.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
All
It's
right,
going to bless. It's really going to bless.
Thanks. All right. Love you.
Okay, love you too. Bye-bye. Okay, so I wanted to talk about, I know you had some more to talk about, but one of my biggest things, I know we talked about reprogramming, and I just wanted to touch on affirmation, visualization, and meditation, because those are some of the things that when I was sick that healed me. Throughout my life, I've been doing affirmations to the point where I've had to tear out pages and make new ones. And prayer, meditation is a form of prayer. And I remember when at one point I wanted to lose this weight, I wanted to get healthier, and I just would see myself walking to my sister's house in these one particular pair of jeans that I couldn't get in anymore with a T-shirt tied in the back and some heels. And I would just see myself taking this walk every single day, taking this walk until one day I was walking to my sister's house and I had to stop in my tracks because I was wearing that outfit. Yeah. I was the size that I wanted to be. And can you just give us a little more as far as affirmation, visualization, and meditation? And then I want to go to number 5.
Well, in my opinion, meditation is the highest form of prayer. And it's when you let all of the outside stuff go, all of the external stuff go, and you actually go inside and you connect with your higher self, or you connect with your God self. And in that space, oftentimes when we talk about prayer, we're so busy talking. For me, prayer is you talking,
Yeah.
but meditation is you sitting in the stillness and allowing God to speak to you.
Yes.
And that's when you get your answers. One of the things that I sometimes do is if I have a question that I need some assistance with, or if I'm about to make a decision, I will write that question down, get it out of my mind, but
Yes.
I'll write it down before I actually go into meditation. And then I'll just sit in the silence and sit to receive.
Wow.
Right? And with affirmations are positive statements about not about what you want to do, but the thing with an affirmation is that you must see yourself being and doing that thing in the present. It is something that will happen in the future, but you have to see it now. And that's when the visualization comes.
Yes.
And affirmations work when you have the visualization, so you see it mentally.
Yes.
You have the positive statement, and you have the emotion. So when you are, when you see yourself in those jeans and you see yourself that size that you want to
Yes.
be, even though you're not that size,
Yeah.
oh, you got to have it all going on, girl,
Yes.
right now.
Yeah.
Because it takes those three things to seal in the actual affirmation,
Yeah.
to seal in. You're imprinting your brain. You're
That's
imprinting
right.
that image on your brain, and that's what the brain will work to.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of times people make affirmations and they don't work. They appear not to work. The reason they appear not to work is because the person is saying, well, this is what I don't want. Now, energy follows thought, right?
That's right.
And so when you are saying what you don't want, that's where your energy is going.
Yeah.
And so what's God doing? Oh, what's the subconscious mind doing? She says she doesn't
I
want
want
that.
it.
Let me just give it to her, because the subconscious mind doesn't hear the not or the don't.
Right.
It just hears don't want to be fat. It hears be fat. Don't want to be broke. It hears be broke, right? And so while you're saying that you don't want to be these things, you're still putting the energy
out
into
there.
those things,
Yeah.
right? And so what you want to do with your affirmation is lean into the future. Lean into the future. You feel it right now. You feel
Yes.
all the joy I feel all the joy that I'm going to have when this book is a bestseller.
I
right?
know that's right.
now.
Right now. I love it.
But it's not yet here, but I'm still feeling it, right?
Yes.
And so that's what's imprinting that on my subconscious mind. And that's what gives me the energy to keep moving forward. What you don't want to do is say what I don't want. I could
good
say this
stuff.
is hard and I don't want to do this.
Right.
But think about it. When you say that, you're still going back into the past instead of leaning into the
To
future.
the future. Oof, that's good
So
stuff.
the three of those work together in
Yes.
order to for you to have your greatest success. You've got to have, first of all, the affirmative prayer and
Yes.
the meditation,
Yes.
the visualization and the affirmation.
I love it.
All of those work together. And there are other things that if other coaches and other information out there about how you can achieve your dreams. But for me, these are the basic four. This is the foundation. This is the foundation. This is where you
Wow.
start to work.
Oof. Is there anything else you want to share about the book before we go? Because this is some good stuff, guys. This is some amazing work.
I just want to talk about fear.
Okay.
Fear can have a positive purpose in terms of protecting you, but all too often when there are things that we want to do, when we have our dreams, our desires, our best life that we want,
Yes.
fear paralyzes us because we feel that we've got to do it perfect. Got to do it perfect.
Yes.
And we're so concerned about what other people are going to do if we fail, what they're going to say. But in the book, I share this example, and this is one of my favorite examples when it comes to fear. A baby doesn't know fear, and they'll stand up and they'll fall down, right? And they're strengthening what I call their get up muscle, right?
Yes.
Because every time they get up, every time they fall down, they get back
right
up.
back up.
And they don't know. Fear is a learned behavior for the most part, a learned emotion. If a baby falls down and you said, "Good boy, good girl," then they're going to do it again and again because
That's
you're
right.
reinforcing that,
That's so
right? And they
true.
won't know that there's anything bad about it.
Yes.
But if the baby falls down and you go, "Oh my God,"
Yeah. You're
pretty
teaching.
You're teaching them to have fear, and pretty soon the baby will fall, and he'll look to you for your reaction.
Yeah,
And
and
when
then
you
he'll
give him
bust out
that, and he will burst out crying
Every
because
time.
that is the way the programming works.
Yeah.
That is the way the programming works. So be mindful. You know, you're never going to know how to do anything until you do it.
That's right.
And many times we are so afraid to move forward. Fear kept me from writing all of my life. Fear and somebody else's opinion. But what I realized, because somebody told me early on that I couldn't write.
Wow.
And what I realized is I've been writing all of my life, right? But I didn't know that I was doing that. And then I was afraid because I didn't think that it would be good enough. But all of that's programmed. All of that's
Yes.
programmed. So be mindful. Do not let fear steal your dreams. Don't let it
Yes.
paralyze you like
That's
that.
right.
Lean
Push through.
into it. Lean into it.
Yes. Oh, I love it.
And learn that even in failure, you're learning, and you take what you learn. It's gold. It is GOLD. You take what you learn and use it to move forward to the next step.
Wow.
Makes you stronger.
That's dope.
Furthers you on your path to being your having and living your best life.
I love it. That's
Yeah.
so good. Okay, I have one more question for you. What is your why, Dr. Collins?
My why is that when I realized the magnitude of being one with God, when I realized that God and I are one and really understood what that meant, it changed my life. And I then want to share that information with other people because I think that we live in limitations.
That's right.
We have been programmed to be limited beings, but a limited being is not who God made you to be.
Absolutely not.
Right.
He's not a limited God.
And so this is my message, and this is my business, but it is my ministry.
That's
It is-
right.
This is the message that God has given me to bring forth to the world.
That's
And that's my
beautiful.
why.
I love it, guys.
That's
Oh, it's been such a blessing having you on again. Thank you so much for sharing this with me. I feel extra special because the book was released today, guys, and you decided to come here and spend it with me.
excited.
I'm so excited. So, tell us, one, how everyone can get in touch with you through social media, your website, if they want life coaching, and then tell us where we can purchase the book.
Okay, so my website is www.synergistichealingcenter.com, and that's SYNERGISTIC healingcenter.com. You can reach me through Instagram, Dr. Sue Carter Collins, on Facebook, Dr. Sue Carter Collins, and on Facebook, the Synergistic Healing Center. And my number is 770-866-2608. And the book is available on my website, and it will be available through Amazon by the end of the week.
All right. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, so you guys, please don't hesitate in getting this book. It's so amazing. She has been a healing to me and helping me through my own stuff. So if you're looking for her for life coaching, I can vouch for her. She is life-changing, and the book is life-changing. So please go get Return to Self. It'll be on Amazon, as she said, later in the week, and you can get it today. I'm so happy. I don't know what else to say. I'm so happy. Thank you guys for tuning in.
you.
I love you guys so much. If you want to follow me on social media, go to my Instagram page. I'm Christina Johnson _ Facebook, Christina Johnson. Inner Peace, INNERPIECE on Twitter. Or you can go to my website for all things Christina. It's www.christinasjohnson.com. I love you guys so much, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Yes, that was so